Hey everyone, thanks for joining me for another Throwback Thursday. So if you saw my previous video, I mentioned that I'm really swamped right now. So one of the things I'm doing is going back to some of my favorites from the past and releasing them to share. I realize not all of you have been with me for this whole time, and not everybody will go back and like watch older stuff. So I got really good feedback from most of you guys that you like the Throwback Thursday idea. So thanks for your support. I still go back and watch older videos of mine to get inspiration, and like if I really liked a color palette and how something turned out, I'll go back and watch it and figure out how colors were layered and stuff like that. So this is also kind of a good activity for me because I can create shorter and more recent versions of some of my favorite videos. And so I chose this one today. So this is a 12-inch, this is a cradled wood board. This is when I was real cute and used to put my pillow paint in a squeeze bottle, real organized. Like, I don't do that now. Anyway, I also didn't use too much pillow paint. As you can see, I'm making that work. But this is a cradled wood round from Lowly Bethy. And this was another collaboration I did with Muna and Jody a long time ago, but this is hands down one of my favorite negative space swipes. And one of the reasons I wanted to share this video with you is that it's finally fall, and these are beautiful fall colors, and they're not a normal color palette for me. I remember we decided at the time when we did this video, we wanted to choose colors that were like monarch butterfly colors. And so, and I was like, man, that's like yellows and oranges. That's like so not my scene. But of course, Colourarte has so many beautiful colors. So let me show you the colors. So this is Spicy Apricot. So this is from, this kind of has a nickel azo gold feel. It's a little bit less orange, but it's pretty close in color. And this is from the Primary Elements Glitz series. So they're a little bit more opaque than regular Primary Elements. So really great color. And then this is Spiced Pumpkin from Colourarte. I only had a little bit of this one mixed up, so I wanted to go ahead and use it up. And it's a really nice orange color. And the only regular paint I'm using that's not Colourarte is Cadmium Yellow Light from Atelier, which is kind of a cool yellow. So that's really the only non-Colourarte color I used other than my Cell Activator. But Colourarte has so many beautiful warm colors, and so I thought that this turned out to be such an inspiring swipe because I don't normally. This is called Fireworks. This is also from the Glitz set. This is kind of a red orange. It's really an orange red, right? It's more red than orange. Gorgeous color. I may or may not use Bleeding Heart, which I'm about to show you. I think I actually do end up using it. It's kind of got a pinkish tone, so it's kind of illegal. So I don't remember if I used it or not, but anyway, like I just love how this showcases some of those colors for you. And it ends up turning out to be a beautiful swipe, in my opinion. I know maybe I'm biased. This is Isadora. So this is from the Bling It set. So the Bling It set, they're not dry paint like Primary Elements. They're just high quality mica. And that yellow is fabulous. So I also used an interference red and gold sparkle. So the interference red would be the regular interference color, and the gold sparkle would be a little bit of a larger particulate. And then Firefly. So this is Firefly. So if you saw my last video where I shared a bloom, I used Firefly, and I used the interference red and gold sparkle. I'm also going to use a blue-black cell activator from Atelier, and this is going to be a negative space swipe, so I'm going to use my palette knife. And I'm going to speed up the rest just because I don't want this to be a crazy long video. But I love the idea of sharing this bloom with you, or this swipe with you guys, because it's finally fall, and it's even cold here in Texas, finally, even though it was like 90 degrees earlier this week or earlier last week. But it's so nice to finally have the fall weather. And I personally, I lean toward jewel tones more often than I do anything else. And I like it when something kind of challenges me and I have to do something outside of my norm and it turns out really, really pretty. So I think this turns out really pretty. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit. We're going to start with the spicy apricot. I'm going to speed up the rest just so you don't get bored. And if I recall, I think I actually shared a short of this one as it was dry. So, and dry in resin. So I'll see if I can locate that and share it with you guys at the end of this video. All right, so that next color is Isadora, I think. And now we've got my interference mix, which is the interference red with the gold sparkle. As you can see, I'm a fan of it. I lathered it on there. And this is the spiced pumpkin. I'm pretty sure I just go ahead and empty that bad boy out, you know. And that is Firefly. So if you saw my last video, I mentioned that Firefly is one of those unassuming colors that looks kind of like a really light caramel color, but then it has this really cool pink shift. And it under resin, it's just like, whoa. So that's Bleeding Heart. Love that color. I think it's so pretty. Of course, I say that about all of them, right? This is more Isadora. Maybe that color I put down at the bottom was the Cad Yellow Light. Forgive me because I don't quite remember and it's hard to tell from this distance. So as you can see, we have a lot of color on here. So now I am loading my palette knife with my Cell Activator. My Cell Activator is Atelier Blue Black with Australian Floetrol. So I get my Australian Floetrol from Pixel Paint Designs, and she offers you guys a 10% discount using Mandy10, all caps. And of course, Colourarte, you can save 20% using Mandy1120. So don't hesitate to check that out. Of course, with Pixel Paint Designs, she also does boom gels and other things. She sells paints. So that's also where I get my boom gels. So I was fairly new at negative space swipes when I started doing this. So you can see I was kind of straight across at first, and I don't have a lot of pillow paint on here to be able to manipulate that. But somehow I managed, and the composition turns out really cool. So now I'm taking a coffee stirrer and I'm taking the pointy part, and I'm going to kind of look at the fuzzy places and see where it needs to be adjusted. I'm also obviously blowing out some pockets of Cell Activator to kind of encourage those cool ghost cells that you get with the Cell Activator sometimes. Really, really, really beautiful cell development happening here. I don't remember what pillow paint I used at this time. I remember once upon a time I was playing around with Walmart's color place that they don't make at this point. I think they're rebranding, but it was their color place satin as my pillow paint. And I got really great cell reaction because, you know, satin paint tends to pearl or cloud. So I got really nice round cells and really nice like little pearl cells in my Cell Activator. So as I've gone back and kind of rewatched my videos, I've thought, I wonder how many of these negative space swipes that I really liked, and I really liked the cell formation, that I use a satin house paint. And if I were to do that now, would I get, would I notice a different result than when I use like an eggshell paint? So typically with blooms, you know, eggshell is good, but satin also is good. So, but my normal house paint is an eggshell. So when I run out of I've been playing around with some of the satin house paint for cloud pours. When I run out of that, I probably will buy a gallon of the PPG in satin and kind of just do an experiment, because I do like the reaction where you get those cute little pearl cells, and you do get it otherwise. But I just noticed some of my older negative space swipes, I got more of that action, and I really like it. So considering that we are using mostly, well, really all semi-transparent or, semi-opaque paints, we have really nice color coverage here. Really, really beautiful negative space swipe. Sorry, I'm making you guys dizzy wiggling the thing around. But anyway, I hope you like the colors and the movement in this one. I was so pleasantly surprised, because I remember when we chose those colors, I was like, boo-hoo, I'm going to be so bored with these colors. But I was like, whoa. Um, so I did cheat by using a blue-black cell activator instead of a black, but I thought it added such a great dimension to the piece. So I am tempted to like do another one of these just so I can play with those colors again. Of course, if I tried to duplicate it, I probably couldn't, but it was really one of my favorites. And, considering I had such a straight across composition, I still really liked um, the way it turned out, and the overall feel of the composition after we, adjusted it and tweaked it and it spun out. And surprisingly, even with such little pillow paint, we had decent coverage, So at this point, I'm just trying to figure out if I need to do anything else, if I like that. I don't sometimes like when there's this random, like, pointy part. Stuff bothers me that doesn't bother other people, you know. I was able to find the resin result video as a short, so I'll try to add it to the end of this, um, the best that I can, so that you guys can see it. So you can see how those colors pop under resin. So at this point, I've kind of gotten rid of that weird sharp point, and I'm kind of trying to erase some of that stuff that looks weird. So I added some pillow paint just so I could like um, give myself kind of an eraser. Now I'm looking at it and I like want to run my finger through it, like say you could just take your finger and finger paint that until you got what you wanted. But you fuss over your own stuff. If you saw another person's painting, you would never fuss over what they fuss over. It's just the way it goes. But anyway, let me show you the close-up. Sorry, I had to slow that down a little bit. So you can see how pretty those like almost ghost cells are, but there's some nice interference color in there. I love the way we can see the white around the cells, even though we didn't add white. But sometimes that's why you add white, is so that you can get that kind of an effect. But that happened because of the pillow for some reason. And a lot of times you scoop up a little bit of the pillow when you swipe. But yeah, just really cool effects. You can see that spicy apricot color. You can see the twinge of the pink. I don't think I ended up using bleeding heart. So yeah, just really cool cells, really beautiful cell reaction, and um, I don't know how to describe it, just really a nice combination of like color within color cells and like lacing, and just I really love this one. Totally outside of my wheelhouse, not something I would have normally done, but I really love the way it turns out, and it really pops into resin. So hang with me. I'm going to show you guys the resin results in just a minute. I'm kind of showing you very up close, actually. But you can see some of the cool kind of patterns and stuff, and the way the colors just work together. So I hope you enjoyed this Throwback Thursday. and I will share the resin result toward the end so you can see what it looks like under resin. It's in its permanent home already, and yeah. So I hope that you guys are enjoying kind of going old school with me, and thanks again so much for taking the time. This actually is the resin result. Check me out. Look how organized I am. So you can see the way that pink shift shows in here, especially like up here where you have the Firefly and the interference color. I actually had it together enough to show you the resin result for this one. Wow. Impressed? This must be before I took a year to resin things. But you see that subtle pink shift? I love it, and I think it works really nicely. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.